You're listening to the Shipyard Cat Podcast, the unofficial SAFC podcast for fans everywhere.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the pod. We're here today to bring you our thoughts on the up-and-coming home fixture against Bournemouth. Obviously, it's going to be another feisty affair, but hopefully we can keep our lovely home record going. But to help me digress this and bring our thoughts to the light is Kev and Robin. I'll start with you first, Robin. How are you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Obviously I can't make this game. It's a little bit too early for me. But I've done a good deed. The lad that sits next to me, Stephen, he's going to take his, I think it's his niece's son to his first ever game. So a little shout out to Lucas Steele and hope he enjoys it.
Yeah, indeed. Very nice thing. And then likewise yourself, Kev, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Looking forward to being back home, so to speak. You know, it's been, well, in my opinion, far too long. When you think about international break, then away fixtures, it's just like, I don't know, it just feels like it's been a month. It hasn't, but it just feels like it's been ages.
Yeah, it's always one of those things what we've all said, even in our group chat as well, having with as soon as the international break is, the first thing we're doing, looking at our watches to see when it actually ends, because we want to get back to the domestic side of things instead. But speaking about obviously domestic, obviously as I said there before, we're taking on Bournemouth, another difficult challenge for us. Bournemouth aren't doing too bad this season themselves. They're up and amongst it. What's our thoughts going into this game? After obviously, I know we had the loss on the weekend prior, but obviously we discussed that and we're putting that in the back of our memories. But on the back of that, how we're feeling, lads?
All right, I think. I mean, it's going to be a tricky match. They're up level on points to us, I believe. They got some tricky players. Obviously, I just hope that Semenyo misses out like he did last week, because obviously he is an absolute danger. He's not the player that we had who never really got an opportunity as a youngster on loan, when he was from Bristol City, I believe. He's an absolute talent. He's rumoured, obviously, the big clubs are looking at him in the January transfer window. He's sort of like impressed people that much. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky. They're a good side. Iriola has them playing a nice style of football. It's going to be difficult to beat. It's not a walk in the park by long means.
Well, I think Robin's spot on. Yeah, Semenyo definitely has grown into being a footballer. When we had him as a youngster, like you say, on loan, he wasn't given the opportunities. I believe it was under Parky, so he was literally given not a chance. I'm not criticising Parky as a manager. He's doing really well for Wrexham, but for us, he was out of his depth, and unfortunately, he didn't use the players he had available to the right of their ability, I suppose is the right word. But yeah, Bournemouth are a tough side. I'm not expecting them to bring a massive crowd because obviously they've only got a small home setup. I can't see their away setup being massive, but they're sitting mid-table comfortably. It's where they seem to spend most of their time. This is probably where they're getting it right. They have good players and they keep them. They haven't done like Wolves have in previous season, which is have a wealth of talent and then sell them at the first opportunity. Aït Nouri being a prime example, left Wolves and they're struggling without him. There's obviously other factors, but yeah, for me, I think like Robin's just said there, Semenyo is probably the one to watch in terms of what he brings to their squad. And also, like you say, he's probably the one where a lot of teams are looking at. Obviously, they've still got the likes of Tavernier, they've got Brooks, they've got Adams. There's a lot of talent. Senesi, again, a great defender. They're not exactly a weak side. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I just hope, like you said at the start of the pod, hopefully we can keep the home form as it has been and come away with something. 3 points at the weekend would be an absolutely brilliant result because it's going to put us then into the 20s in points,
Yeah.
and it just re-establishes you as a comfortable team in the division.
Yeah, 100%. I think the other thing we can take on that as well is the fact, similar to what we're saying there in regards to carrying on the home form. The reason why I touch on that as well is if the crowd gets behind the lads, similar to what we did against Arsenal, get right behind the lads, cheer every tackle, cheer every pass, everything like that, and get behind the lads, which seems to be what we've been doing all season anyway at home. But I think that is one of the obviously we all know when we make our stadium a fortress, it's a very hard, somewhat hostile environment for an opponent to come against. Even other teams have admitted that. We know that this season already. We just need to do that again, don't we? To likes of a Bournemouth, make sure they can't hear each other speak, making sure those intricate passes that they want to try and play, whether it be a nice ball over the top to say Semenyo or a ball to the wing, they can't hear each other say, I'm here, pass me the ball. We need to do that again, don't we?
100%. You've got to try and frustrate each other and, try and, like you say, get under their skin. They're an established Premier League side. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago they got promoted? And I don't think they've ever really looked back since. The last 3-4 seasons, they've comfortably spent a lot of their time mid-table. Like Robin said, the manager's got them playing good football. There was talks of him being, lured away at the start of the season. And it wouldn't surprise me if he keeps going like he had been with them. But if one of the big clubs were to lose their manager, the likes of your Uniteds, etc., it wouldn't be the likes of him that get pulled in there. But yeah, I don't know. The last few results haven't been amazing. Obviously, they drew 2-2 against West Ham, but West Ham, since bringing in Dyche, have turned the form around a little bit. Obviously, they lost 4-0 to Villa. And, I think we can't compare the results we've had against some of these teams to how they are now. Obviously, we beat West Ham the first game of the season. Now they've got a new manager. Their tactics have changed, and it's finished as a 2-2. Obviously, they drew 3-3 against Bournemouth. I mean, you look at they've conceded some goals, in time. Obviously, 2-2 against Leeds, 3-1 win against Fulham. Obviously, we lost 1-0 to Fulham. So, it's a real tough match to call. I mean, go on, Robin. I think you waved at me there, or you thought you were calling me something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Dyche went to Forest and it was Nuno that went to West Ham.
It was, yeah. Thank you.
I deliberately stayed quiet because I knew Robin was going to pick me
Mate,
up.
to be fair, I nearly said Nuno went to Forest. That's where he was before.
Yeah, it's where he was before. Look, I mean, it's irrelevant, isn't it? Look, I mean, who's wearing that? Yeah, they're doing really well. I mean, obviously, they're up with us. They're a good team. They are going to finish mid-table. They're not in any danger of going down, which obviously before the season started, with losing the players that they did, with Heisen going to Real Madrid, and obviously there's is it Kirkish, wasn't it, they had as well, went off to Liverpool and that, and you thought they might struggle a bit here, but lo and behold, they've been playing really good football. I think it's going to be a tight game. I can't see anyone running away with it. I think after the dismal performance of last weekend against Fulham, I think the lads will be up for it. They want to keep this unbeaten home run going.
Mhm.
I think there might be a few changes to the system as well. I don't think he's going to be as defensive. I mean, it might surprise you. He might go 5 at the back again, but I don't think he will. We just want to keep going, really, don't we? Just let's do the right thing and keep it a fortress and go from there.
No, you've started one of the questions that I had massively there was in regards to formation. What do we think we're going to see? Do we think we'll drop back to the back four, stick to the back five? Me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing us drop back to the back four. I wouldn't mind seeing Aldrete come back in. It's nothing to Gage Crowder. I would rather see the connection of Ballard and Aldrete again, because I think that is our solid partnership. And I just think it works better. And then obviously you still have Mukiele out there as well. Where are you guys seeing this? Do we want to say, it sounds horrible, but in regards to like Siddiqui and Xhaka, obviously Xhaka's a no-brainer. You have to have him in the team. In regards to like Siddiqui, would you say this is a risky game for him because of how tricky the likes of Semenyo is going against him? What do we reckon,
I
boys?
think he meant Semenyo there, Robin.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I was, I was
2 out of 3 wrong.
racking my brains there, thinking, have they signed someone new? Is he a free agent? Yeah, look, it's. I know what you're saying, Adam. I think it would be nice to see how Jete come back in, but who misses out if you go to a back four? To me, you keep Trey Hume at right back. He's solid, yeah, and he's going to have obviously Semenyo running at him because he does prefer to run down the left. For them, obviously against our right back, Mukiele, I think, has been absolutely fantastic lately. Plus, we've got his long throws. Ballard, superb. So you're going to put Aldrete as a left back. If you're going four at the back, you've got problems fitting him in the team because, yeah, he was doing really well before, obviously, his concussion. But to me, you can't replace Ballard or Mukiele. And then, where do you put it? Obviously, Hertrauda's been playing well as well. We can play in that midfield role. So it could be an option of having an extra man in the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably go with a 4-3-3, I expect, rather than going a 4-4-2. However, this might be a game where 4-4-2 might work. Really change things up a bit, and then you're looking at, who you're going to play in what position. Obviously, look, he likes Enzo Lefebvre. I didn't think he was great last week, but he has been playing well. Obviously, Traore's getting a start, and to be fair, he looked the most promising attacking player against Fulham last week. Obviously, Shaq is in the middle. Who do you put with him if it is a 4? Is it going to be Hertrauda? It's more than likely, but, like you say, you've got Siddiqui there as well. Obviously, we've got to think that Mundell was on the bench last week as well. So he's an option from that left side as well. How far away is Diarra? Do you stick with Wilson and another, as in Brobby or Maenda? Or do you change that? Formation-wise, to me, the easiest thing for him to do is keep one up top at the moment because it means you can fill out the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to be stronger in the midfield because I do believe that last week, we were lacking. I think we gave a lot of possession away at Fulham. And I don't think we coped very well with them at all. We seem to be missing that person, even though, like I say, Siddiqui and Xhaka have been the most mobile of all midfielders in the Premier League this season, covering more ground. When it's only the two of them against the three in the middle, we are going to struggle. Yeah. So I think he might. It's more likely to be a loose 4-3-3. I think. He'll probably have Hertrauda, Siddiqui, and Xhaka in that central three. With, like I say, I think it will be Traore on the right. I think it's going to be Lefebvre on the left. And is it going to be Brobby or Wilson up top? I've got a feeling he's probably going to stick with Wilson.
Yeah.
Brobby's been doing well, but I think at the moment he's more of a player that's going to have an impact late on in the games.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to feel sorry for some of the lads. Obviously, like I said, Mind is not really getting any minutes. Obviously, Chris Rigg didn't even make the matchday squad last weekend. Obviously, Dan Neils, not getting opportunity. Obviously, Luke 09. You know, Mundell's coming back in as well. You know, you've got Adingra. You've got Talby. You know, we've sort of got a richness of talent there at the moment, and unfortunately, people are going to miss out. I think as well, without wanting to sort of weaken the team at all or anything like that, I think we must use these players, but we've also, I think, got to get use out of the players that we're possibly going to lose for the AFCON.
Yeah.
You know, to get them some game time, maybe rest some of the other players that aren't going away so that they're not going to get injured. Because let's face it, I mean, if he takes out Siddiqui, etc., you know, and they, you know, Talby, and the replacements come in and they get injured, and then they go off to the AFCON, and we've got 2, 3 possibly injured players that are in them positions, but it's going to be a struggle then.
Mm-hmm.
That's 22, because you realistically need to start playing some of those players that aren't going away so that they can get used to playing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, you also want to keep them well rested so that they're not exhausted when it comes to that first game for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very much, you know, what came first, the chicken or the egg. You know, you can't win either way in terms of, yeah, you drop the likes of Siddiqui. People will ask questions, why have you done that? If you lose a game, or why have you made that decision? You know, I've seen things online where people are saying Hume should be dropped because he's been responsible for the goal against Fulham. But you could say that about other players that have led to goals being conceded. If you dropped a player every time a decision went wrong, you'd never field the same squad ever again. I mean, we'd probably not be in the Premier League if we did that. Do you know what I mean? Because every player's made a mistake that's led to a goal. It happens at the end of the day, you know. You drop Nordy because he made a mistake and it led to a goal. But you wouldn't drop him because he's probably one of our best players this season that we've signed, you know. Xhaka made a mistake against Arsenal. Do you drop him? No, you don't. Like, you move on, you learn from these mistakes, you know. Everybody makes a mistake in their lives. You learn from it, you get better from it. And that's what it is for me. I think Regis is still learning what works best in terms of a back 4 or back 5. I felt we were too defensive against Fulham. I think a back 5 was the wrong move. But if you play a different tactic, say you go, you know, back, rewind the clock, we play Fulham again, but we go with a back 4 and you lose that game 2-0, 3-0. First comment everyone will say is, oh, we should have gone with the back 5.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got against Bournemouth. You know, they traditionally set up in a 4-2-1-2 setup, I believe. So, or they, to be honest, they more often run a 3-1 at the front. So you've got a standalone striker and then 3 behind, very similar to what we do.
Yeah.
In terms of your wingers and then your sort of attacking midfielder. How do you combat that? I agree with Robin. A 4-4-2 might work because you've then got them thinking, who are you going to use? Are you going to use Maenda, or are you going to use Wilson? Are you going to use Brobby?
Yeah.
It's a great predicament to be in for Regis, but it is also a headache because if you get it wrong, and you go 1-0, 2-0 down, you're going to get pelters for getting it wrong at home.
Exactly. It's one of those, isn't it, where we just need to believe in Regis and his tactics and just see what he does on the day and then just back him as much as we can. Just touching on Diarra for Robin. In regards to Regis's comments, Regis said he is well. He's not available, of course. They are having constant communication, I think, with Senegal, having that conversation with them, because I believe he's actually rehabbing over there. He's not rehabbing over here. And they're busy talking about it and saying, in regards to when is he actually meant to be going over to for AFCON, so to speak, and then dealing with in that circumstance. So I think Regis is monitoring it very carefully and slowly because he does want to say, right, you got back, you ready? Right, okay, straight in the deep end, gets put on the pitch and then gets a crunch and tackle and he's out again. I think that's one thing we can all agree on with Regis is if he knows a player's ready but not 100% ready, he's not going to rush them back, is he? We've seen that with Mundell. Mundell was ready last season, from what everyone understood, was ready for the last 7 games of the season, but Regis was like, he's not 100%. And then when Mundell was 100%, we saw Mundell at his best.
I get what you're saying, but Regis has got absolutely no input whatsoever when them players are allowed to play. You know, it's all done with the medical team. It's not a case of him not wanting to risk it. They'll be told, you know, that this player is available and this player is not available. So, unfortunately, now with football clubs, that decision's taken away from the manager or the head coach and even the player. You know, the player doesn't even get to decide if he's fully fit or not. You know, the medical stuff will make that decision for him going forward.
So it's going to be one of these things, I think. I think what we'll do in regards to formation-wise, I'm not going to get us to predict one because it's too hard to predict a formation, so to speak. I think we're just going to have to wait and see on that. In regards to the style that they're going to bring, obviously we've talked about they've got the danger men there. At home, do we see that we're going to be able to create more of a fortress to them so they will feel under pressure? Because to me, certain games that they've played this season, they have looked free and able to play their style of game. And I don't mean it disrespectfully for the other teams that they've played, but I haven't heard a noise like our stadium that is deafening for them to be able to play their style of football. Do we think that's what we have an edge over to other teams?
I think it certainly does give us an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I come from a ground which isn't very big, you know, but their fans are pretty good. You know, they're not the most vocal, but they're not quiet by a long way. I mean, it's not like they're Crystal Palace with the ultras, but it's not like it's Fulham with polite people clapping. You know, it's you know they can back their team. So yeah, I mean, look, they're big players. You know, I don't think it affects players nowadays as much as what it possibly did previously. You know, it's not like Galatasaray where, you know, it's a horrendous place to go and play football, quite a, you know, extremely intimidating atmosphere with the whistles and everything as soon as you're touching the ball. So I expect that, you know, it gives us a slight advantage when everyone's behind the team and it's pushing them forward. It gives our players a lift, but I don't think it necessarily affects their players like they dip.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing, isn't it? It's kind of, yeah, to be fair, like I know I've just said about their home attendance being amazing. I think their ground's 80, what is it? It's something daft like 18,000 or something daft, like 20 odd. It's not a big ground at all. But I was just trying to find out on my phone what the attendance was. But no, for me, it's one of those where they're just going to enjoy the game, aren't they? And that's what we need to do. Our lads do need to enjoy the match because after this one, things get tough. Well, I say that we play Liverpool and yeah, but you know what I mean. We've got 2 tough away games coming up. We also are heading into the rapid, you know, part of the season where it's game after game after game after game. You know, it's what is it? Saturday, then Wednesday, then Saturday, then it's just it's like being back in the Championship where you're playing every 4 days.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got a certain game coming up on Sunday the 14th. These lads probably in the back of their mind now have got that game in their sights.
Yeah.
You know, Sadiqi's got to keep a cool head and realise that if he's not going to AFCON, he needs to be prepping for the derby. The likes of
Yeah.
Xhaka needs to realise it's probably
Mhm.
Saturday, sorry, is probably his last chance to get a card.
Yeah.
But then he's going to miss. He potentially is going to miss a big game.
Yeah. Just touching on that, I think likewise what you were saying there, like if Sadiqi gets called up for obviously his national team, Derby, etc. I know Regis has been asked about it in basic terms, but he still hasn't given a definite answer. And I think the reason being because he doesn't know is every single time people asking when is the players going to AFCON, he's keep on getting asked that same question, and he's doing the answer perfectly, saying I don't know because certain players could be going on the say the 13th. Some could be going the week after, so we could have a full fit everybody there for the derby. We don't know that yet, and I think Regis is doing very well to be methodical about the way he's answering that because he himself doesn't know. If he knew the answer, he still probably wouldn't tell us the answer anyway.
Why would you give away your secrets?
Exactly, yeah. Robin, did you want to touch on that, Sawyer? I think I was
I was
just
just
writing
going
notes
to
beside.
say, Kev, it's 11,286 is the vitality capacity.
Is it really? I thought it was bigger than that.
Yeah, no, I think that you're probably
Wow.
getting confused with the G-Tech Community Stadium at Brentford, which is
Which
round
is about 18,000, isn't
about
it?
the 20,000 mark. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I thought the vitality was a bit bigger than that, to be honest. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've just done a bit of a check-in, and yeah, it's that. So
I was going to say it isn't the smallest, but the certain team that was the smallest is now in League One. Uh, Luton.
no, I think even Luton's bigger than that.
Oh, I'll stand corrected. So if anybody wants to point me out correctly,
Yeah.
then fair play. But
Robin's rapidly Googling so he can call you out.
probably. But yeah, I think as I touch on there, just in regards to the AFCON and stuff like that, I think it is going to be interesting to see when they do go. I'm just hoping somewhat Regis does similar to a Guardiola style of you can't go over, you're injured, so to speak. I doubt he would do that nastily to them, but I think it's one of those things where he may employ certain few tactics, but obviously we'll come to that when we need to. That's a few weeks away yet.
12,027 for
So
Kenilworth
Bournemouth
Road.
is the smallest. Oh well.
So yeah, so that's like what just
Just over 1,000 more.
just under 1,000.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough. I stand corrected. I generally thought Luton was a lot smaller. But no, lads, I think we're pretty much covered it. We've got a few mistakes in there as well. Kev's been corrected tonight for once. I've been corrected
Mate, I
twice.
blame it on the puppy. The lack of sleep.
I said I managed to keep a concentration with one of the cats climbing all over my head.
And for once, I didn't have any crawling on me, so that makes a change. I just get distracted by food instead. But it's a blast doing these. Let's get some predictions on the roll. Kev, I'll start with you, mate. What's your prediction for this weekend?
Thanks, mate. So I think it's gonna be 2-1 to us. I think Semenyo is gonna score. I'll be honest with you, I probably think we're gonna go 1-0 down.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna go 1-0 down and then we're gonna have to switch it on. Just it has that feel about it. I think it's gonna be quite an edgy match. I do feel the fans are going to be nervous because I think they know this is probably the last of the middle teams before we start playing Liverpool, Man City. You know that those are Man City twice in a month ish. It is literally around the corner now. So yeah, hopefully we can get. Yeah, I think 2-1. I'll stop waffling on this one.
Go on then, Robin.
I'm in agreement with Kev, to be honest. I think it's going to be a tight game. There's a bit of me that's saying it's going to be 2-2, that it's going to be a draw, but obviously I want to be positive all the time and thinking that we're going to win. No, I'm going to go. I'll tell you, I'm going to go with the draw. I'm going to go with 2-2. I think they've got a bit about them that they're going to cause us a few issues.
Yeah, no worries. For me, I'm going for a nervy 1-0 win. I just think I'm agreeing with you both. It is going to be a very tight game. It's going to be hard, and as we've said all the way through this, Bournemouth's no pushover. We know they're not, and they're going to fight for everything that they can. But I think just we've got something about us, especially with that home form, with everyone behind the lads. I think we've got enough to effectively scream a goal across the line. So fingers crossed we'll hopefully get those 3 points on the board. And as you said, Kev, coming into December, I think it's going to be pivotal that we get them 3 points and then just push hard on these really hard games that we've got coming up. Other than that, lads, I think I've covered everything there. I don't think I've missed anything at the moment. No?
Good on my side, mate.
Excellent. Well, I'll wrap it up with a thanks to you, Kev, for joining me, and a thanks to you, Robin.
Cheers, mate. It's always a pleasure.
Good to have you back in the hot seat, mate.
Yeah, it makes a change, doesn't it? To all the listeners, thank you very much for listening in as well. It means a lot. Obviously, you can find us on the old Twitter, or X as people call it now, Facebook, Instagram, because obviously Robin keeps us up to date on that, which is good. Kev keeps us up on the TikToks, and YouTube is another good one. So everyone just get joining on that. To the American listeners, on the time of recording tonight, it's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to you guys. And other than that, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.